What's up, YouTube? Team Deception here with kind of a few announcements and whatnot regarding this past weekend. I don't remember if I told anyone in any video last week, but my friend came over and he said he was going to enter me this week, so I took him up on that and I actually just played. So I didn't get any duel videos done because I couldn't record and be in the tournament at the same time. No one there could actually help record for me, but my friend Buster Blader Andrew is his YouTube channel name. I'll leave a link somewhere down below or up here somewhere in an annotation. He did a couple of duel videos. Apparently Caleb and his father face each other again this week in a row, so I don't know if he has those videos up yet or not, or when he's deciding to put them up, but he did put up 2 deck profiles and he has a rant about, I guess, people complaining about the ban list or something. And in one of the duel videos I think he shows my face, so if that's something you guys are actually interested in seeing, which I highly doubt, you know, that'll be in there too. He's like, this guy called me an asshole in one of his videos or whatever, even though I believe I specifically said I was just kidding if he was watching, so just in case, because I didn't want him taking me seriously, but apparently that's not the case. Anyways, it was a 4-round locals this weekend. As you can probably guess, I was playing Karakuris. And so I guess I'll go through the matchups first. Round 1 was against my only loss, which was Dino Ninja. I faced this guy I think like 2 weeks ago, and I beat him with the last format version of my deck, and it was I think I 2-0'd him that time. No, it was 2-1 last time. So he won this round. So I guess in a way, if you want to count me and him, you know, going back and forth to like a war or whatever, we're tied. But it was whatever. I think the real reason why I lost that matchup was because we went into time and I didn't have any monsters. I had he was down to like 4,000 something life points. It wasn't very much, and I knew that if I could have drawn out at least a tuner monster, I had an instant fusion in my hand to push for game. And the card I top decked was a Solemn Warning, and my turn was the last turn when we were in time. So that kind of screwed me over, but I think if we hadn't gone into time, I might have still won. Round 2, I think, was against my friend Joe George, which I did a duel, or he was the guy that I did the duel video with that was playing Burn. He was playing Lightsworns this weekend, and I think I 2-0'd him. I can't remember. I just had, like, I kind of had every out. Like, whenever because he wasn't playing many back row for some reason. I don't know if he just drew mostly monsters every time or whatever, but he just couldn't get over the fact that I kept putting pressure down with my Karakuri synchros and stuff, and the fact that I could switch his monsters battle modes with my beret and stuff, just push for damage, just overwhelmed him. And there was a point where he had 2 Judgment Dragons, and I warninged one, and I can't remember what I did to the other. I think what did I do to the other one? I can't remember. But he had 2, and he couldn't get both of them off. And then actually I think the other one was still on the field. And instead of attacking my Stardust, he attacked my Karakuri quick. And then on my turn, I managed to synchro summon into a Catastor to take it out. I think that's what I did. And so that kind of ended that match. Round 3, I believe, was against Mystic Piper. I think I 2-1'd him because I think game 2 I drew almost no monsters, and I kind of just scooped it up. But game 1, I think he Veilered me like once or twice, but it didn't do anything to me. I still managed to win, and game 3 he just kept drawing monsters and he couldn't get his Mystic Piper whenever he really wanted it. The last monster he had that he played or put into play was a Kinkabayu face down in defense mode for defense, I guess, and it just wasn't enough, so I kind of won that one. Last round was against some random warrior deck. He wasn't, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but he wasn't like the world's greatest player, and I kind of just overwhelmed him. Game 2, he set 4 back row, and I just opened Heavy Storm, and he just was like, are you serious? And he kind of just scooped a few turns later, so I was like, whatever. So with kind of the report thing out of the way, let's get into the deck profile. I'm going to show everything for what I did. So Let's see here. First up is the standard 3 Kamachis. It's your Bogart Knight basically for the deck. You normal again, do your synchros and stuff. So it's kind of mandatory in every Karakuri deck. 3 merchants. I do not run cash anymore, and you'll see why sooner or later, or well, sooner than later, I guess. Why I don't. There were times when I actually did want my cash because for like one round I think I spaced on the fact that I could go into my battle phase and then go into main phase 2, but throughout the day I actually had realized it like towards the end of the tournament, and I had done it quite a few times, but it came in handy quite a lot. And yeah, the Churi Beast did a lot of work, just letting you guys know that. 3 Nisamus. This is kind of as good as whenever X-Saber's main 3 Ember's Blades. It was kind of mandatory. In my opinion, it's the same thing for Karakuris. It's just too good not to run 3, especially if you're running, you know, mostly pure. This came in handy too. Normally people run only like 1 of these. I think a lot of people might have converted over to 3 only because of like econs or beret and whatnot, but I like 2. Quick, just because it's a 1700. I actually forgot what my Kamachi's defense was against Joe George, and I actually smacked into it with quick. I wasn't really thinking, so I'm just glad I was able to win that matchup. But like I said, I wasn't really thinking. I actually didn't get enough sleep, so that's part of the problem. 2 of him, partly just for the fact that I can summon it, switch a battle mode of any monster, including my own. I tend to bring this thing out mostly off of my Burrito. Like I bring it out in defense, which is up to attack mode. I draw a card, and then if they attack it while it's in attack position, it goes to defense, and I draw a card before it dies. So I mean, it's really good, and it's a good, you know, defender. So. Up next should kind of give away what I replaced the caches with. 2 Psychic Commanders. The reason why I liked it was because of the fact that I could use it to make Burrito and Beret quite easily, as well as the fact that it was an Earth tuner that I could bring out. So yeah. And the last monster is, of course, a Saizon. This actually came in handy very much so against Lightsworns, since I wasn't letting him get his Raikos off or his Celestias. He kind of just would either wall him in defense mode, or whenever he would attack to do some damage, it would stay alive while in attack mode. So it was very useful. So now onto the spells. Like I said, caches were replaced by something rather obvious. 2 teleports. This actually played really well in Karakuris. There were times when I actually didn't need it, or I would like draw out my commanders and I really didn't want to, but it wasn't really that much of a problem. I mean, there was actually a time I actually normal summoned a commander, and it actually worked out really well. So I mean, it was whatever, but just having the ability to do teleport in here and go into big synchros and stuff was just very, very nice. I have to say that it was pretty good for the first time in playtesting. 2 instant fusions, just because it's like e-teleport and this going into an instant Burrito, and you know, and still having your normal summon or normal summons if you have Kamachi left. It's just too good. Double MST. Normally I tend to, like if I open this, I tend to set only this and just go, okay, you know, come at me with your Heavy Storm or your MST, it's whatever. Otherwise I tend to just punish them by, you know, blowing up one of their back row if they leave it there for too long. And it's just too good, this format. I mean, it's whatever. Pretty much up to the staples now is Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn. In this deck, this is actually kind of mandatory. I don't know how many other Karakuri decks actually use Pot of Avarice anymore, but because of the teleports, I kind of wanted to make sure I had a way of putting my commanders back into my deck if I ended up drawing out both, or if they were both in the graveyard and I had teleports that I couldn't use. It came in handy because I returned 1 back to my deck, and I ended up drawing into a teleport, which I believe won me one of the games I played. Scapegoats. This is an amazing card in here. It came in handy quite a lot. I just would like, I forget who it was that did it, but one of them, Dark Holdwall, had I think a quick and a beret on the field, and he ended his turn after I think he set like 1 back row or something, and I played Scapegoat, and I stalled for like 5 turns because of those goats. So last spell is Libro della Luna. aka Book of Moon. This came in handy quite a lot, well, not today, but yesterday as well. Traps, we got 2 warnings, kind of staple. I used to have Call of the Hunted in here. I replaced them for my 2 bottomless, just because Call of the Hunted just felt like it was having too many monsters in the deck. Basically, it's whatever though. Compulsories, these came in handy quite a lot as well, just for chainability factor and the fact that I could bounce things. 1 and 2 Torrentials. I had Dust Shoot in here last format. I just replaced it immediately with a Torrential. It's pretty much what everyone else is doing. 2 Deep Prisons, 1 Solemn J, and 1 Mirror Force. Let's see here. I'm not going to explain my extra deck all that much. Like, there's only 1 card I'm actually going to explain, so we'll just get into it. 2 Berets. Let's see here. 2 Burritos. I'm actually going to say something about this. I kind of wanted to put it at 3 in here, but there's just no room. At least not in my opinion anyways. 1 Catastor came in it was very useful and very helpful. The Cherry Beast, probably the VIP of Sunday, just because I used it so much. Brionac, I actually didn't use this at all. Barkion, I only have this in here pretty much because I have Scapegoats, and I actually had the opportunity to summon it, but I didn't. Instead I went to, I think it was Catastor, so it's whatever. Landoys, I rarely ever use Landoys either unless I know my opponent has an effect that I don't want. So 1 Black Rose, 1 Stardust, I actually used it once, and that was against Lightsworns. Scrap Dragon, I also used this once. Since I use 2 Instant Fusions, it's pretty kind of standard, this. Now, the thing that I do have to explain is that originally I had Cyber Dragons in my main deck, and I took them out for the Psychic Commanders, and I took out the Caches for the Teleports, which left my Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon in my extra deck, and I didn't know what I was going to replace it with, so I went with this. This actually helped me out quite a lot. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you don't have Zen mains, you don't have Maxis, you don't have Fiendish Chains, you're a Garbo player, you don't have blah blah blah, and you guys can go fuck yourself. I don't have all that expensive shit. This came in very handy though. It won me one of my games. I just can't complain. My side deck is a little bizarre. It's not exactly what I want it to be, but it worked rather well, even though I only sided like twice. First up's 3D Crows, just in case I ended up playing against Insectors, or Wind-Ups, just get rid of their Wind-Up Hunter or whatever. So yeah, DD Crow was actually used against me a few times as well. So I sided in the Cyber Dragons. I didn't side them in at all yesterday, but I sided them just in case I needed them. And I mean, it's a level 5 that I could use. This is an interesting card. I felt like trying if I ended up playing against Justin, because if he was playing Dino Rabbits again, which I think he was, I was kind of wanting to try this against Dino Rabbits, see how it would work, but I didn't play against it. So, but 2 Volcanic Queens, just for the fact that if I already have like a field full of monsters, like if I have a Beret or something on the field, just tribute off their Logia to summon it in defense or something and just run it over. I just kind of wanted to try it out, but I didn't get the chance to. Caleb was running 6 Samurais last week, and I think he was going to this week, but he changed his mind. But just in case I ran into Sam's, I put in a Kinetic Soldier. Since I'm siding the Cyber Dragons, and I sided these in against, I forget what it was. I think it was Piper. Was it Piper? I don't remember. Actually, I think it might have been against my round 1 opponent to declare like Waivas or something like that to stop them from going into Logia so easily. That or Ninjutsu Art, it was one of the 2, I can't remember. Anyways, goes in match, most of the deck's Earth, and lastly 2 Shadow Mirrors. So that's the deck. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think about it, what you would change or whatever, I guess. As long as it's within something that I could actually do the change or whatever. The side deck, if you guys want to help me finish my side deck, I need 2 Black Horn of Heavens, 2 Debunks, and 2 Chain Disappearances for it. I mean, that way I can replace like the Volcanic Queens and Prohibition maybe and all that other shit. But yeah, that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to go subscribe to my friend Andrew, who, like I said, I'll have his channel somewhere up here in the description. And I will try to get you guys dual. Well, actually, like I said, I told my friend I'm not playing this upcoming weekend, so I will get you guys dual videos this weekend whenever I go. So rate, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. So yeah, that's about everything. Peace, you guys.